How's the heart rate, Ads?
Up. Yeah, there was obviously probably the same as everyone else. It was sitting out there. The other 30,000 that watched it, it was had bits of everything in it. But yeah, really happy that we the fight that we showed. You know, we certainly weren't at our best tonight, but in terms of being clinical, but you know, if it was as good as I've seen, it was as good as what it was that night at Leichhardt earlier in the year. So our DNA and character still checked, but yeah, we certainly wasn't the greatest night for our footy.
Galen, how did the shoulder hold up?
Pretty good. I think my first run I landed on the shoulder. It'll be sore after this, but it was pretty good.
Adam, do you think the whole final scenario sort of shook the boys a little bit at the start? Like, just
Yeah.
where they're at?
Yeah, I do. I don't reckon we're on their own there. I've watched a bit of footy over the weekend, and you know, finals do funny things to you. So yeah, I reckon a few of the teams experienced a bit of that, and we certainly did tonight. You know, it's been a long time since we put that much pressure on ourselves in terms of completion. I think we made like 15 errors or something like that, and we had to do a ton of work on our try line. So, and it has been a long time since we've done that to ourselves. Against a team that's pretty experienced in handling finals. I thought that showed a little bit from them. They're quite good at handling it. Yeah, and look, obviously it's a big week for us. We understand the importance of, you know, how much it meant to those people that were still there. There's probably still 30,000 standing there now. They were unbelievable, so loud, and I guess the enormity of that sort of weighs on the team at times, but we wouldn't have it any other way. And I guess the opposition, they'll feel the weight of a nation on their shoulders. They'll know what it feels like next week.
Adam, with that, did you feel when you got 12 in front, you shouldn't have had to win the game again? Like, you know, there's still a lot of time in that game and mistakes crept back into it and you let them back in?
Yeah, I thought after half time, this guy in particular kick-started us, and we done a hell of a job to get ourselves and turn that scoreline around and get so far in front. But then, yeah, there was a couple of moments in the game that we'd like to have back and put a bit more pressure on ourselves. But we showed time and time, like we got in front, got behind, got in front, had a draw. There's a lot of character in that win. So I don't want to get bogged down on. There's no point me standing in there roasting individuals about completions and all that. That ain't going to help us next week. We'll dump parts of it, but we'll hang on to the character and the effort that we showed.
What was your view on the Jack Lane?
No.
Caleb, when you went to the referee, did you say anything about Tyson's allegation?
He just said that he couldn't see anything.
Did you guys get licked out of that, Kalen, afterwards? It seemed to fire the team up, that whole incident, and it was 3 tries in 10 minutes straight off the back of it.
I wouldn't say that incident. I think the crowd got behind us after that, definitely. That crowd got us home, you know, not that incident.
Adam, what's the early prognosis on Jackson Hastings?
Yeah, well, obviously it doesn't look great. I haven't had a chance to speak to the doctors just yet, but we tested him at half time and he wasn't going to be able to contribute to the second half. So that in itself was probably not a great sign. But anyway, we'll just reassess tomorrow, pick ourselves up.
And Tyson Gamble went down late in extra time. What's happened there?
He had a burner, so he'll be okay. Yeah, he's fine.
Caleb, what did you say to the boys in the huddle just before extra time?
Can't even remember. I think it was more DSAP talking. He was just motivational words, nothing too detailed. I think we know the detail. At the end of the game, you know, with the 10 minutes to play, it's all about heart. I think that's about how much you want it. And I think that's what DSAP was screaming out pretty much. So, yeah, that's what he was saying.
There's probably a lot of stuff going on. Like, I want to heap of praise on this guy, not only after half time, but then when you lose Jackson, and then Kalen's all of a sudden got to reconfigure. He's got to coach Kurt on the run, how to play 5'8", the way we want him to. but then he's got to have the presence of mind to go, well, we've been heavily left-sided, I need to flip around to the right, and he did that, popped up on the right, we get 2 tries down there. Like, that's pretty remarkable for him to do after just a 5-minute half-time. Like, it was literally a couple of minutes to go when we ruled Jackson out. So, you know, he's been an inspiration to the team all week. Well, he's been an inspiration to the team all year, but to get himself right physically to go out there, but then have the nous to go, right, I need to start attacking down the right, that's a credit to him. It was outstanding.
Did the belief ever waver?
No, I don't think so. I definitely know that we didn't start the way we wanted to. I think I was saying that it was our worst half of footy all year, and we're only down by 10. I was more than confident we get ourselves back in the game through our forwards, that, you know, we'll create those opportunities, and yeah, we just stuck to the process and yeah, it wasn't pretty, but we got it done.
Can you speak to the lead up to the penalty goal, like the offside penalty, but then you got hit, and was there any doubt about you coming off, or were you always okay to stay on and take the kick?
No, I was definitely okay to make the kick. Yeah.
So it's just no issues with your head?
No.
Can you speak to Tyson Gamble's role in the game then? I mean, he's made some big plays with the tries he scored and the charge down and the leadership he had to show without Jackson on the field.
Yeah, these every team will talk about it. At games like this are one-on moments, defensively and in attack. I think Tyson's done that for us all year. He's definitely worked hard at his game. You know, this is probably the longest amount of NRL footy he's played in his career, but he works hard to be in those moments, and it's a credit to him. He's unorthodox with the way he does things, but he gets it done. And yeah, he was come up with some big moments for us tonight.
You guys mentioned the crowd getting you home here tonight. Like, you got to go to New Zealand now up against that Warriors crowd and that Warriors team. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, look, as I said before, with that comes a bit of pressure. We know what that feels like, so be interested to see how they handle that. It's a good story, like, for what they did for our game, and we're out here, you know, away from their fans. I'm sure they're really excited to pack their stadium. But yeah, that's for them to handle this week. We'll just bunker down, go about our business.
What will be your response with the emotion and the extra time in that game? Do you give them extra time off, or do you stick to whatever schedule you've got for the week?
We'll stick to the scheduling. I had anticipated a fairly tight contest, and it was going to be physically. We don't have to go out there and invent a style that we want to play this week, so we don't need to spend too much time on the training track. It's just all about getting them feeling good physically and mentally to go over there and repeat it next week. So yeah, this time of year it's just about, yeah, we get them out in the sun down the beach tomorrow and get them feeling good.
And Clune is the obvious replacement for Jackson if he's no good?
Yeah, at this stage, yeah. Look, he done a bloody good job the last few weeks, Adam. So we're really fortunate that we've got an informed player to bring in there.
With the finals around the corner, NRL on 9 has you covered.
From match highlights, press conferences, don't forget, Freddie and the 8.
Of course.
NRL on 9 has you covered for everything. One-stop shop.
Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a moment.